this is my truck. Today I just want to do a short video about where the cross members are going, what's happening here. Everything is cut out that's getting cut out. We still need to straighten something up in the back, but it's really ready to start going back together. So I just want to show you the cross members, what my plan is for boxing this back in. I haven't really done a lot of like a big shot so you can see everything so it makes sense. So I'm hoping from this you can get an idea of what's going on and why. I'll bring the camera in closer so you can see in some detail. But I want to talk about the spring perches and where that's going first. So let's get a look at that. Alright, so this is the rear spring perch. Saw in an earlier video we talked about a little about this is the pilot holes. This is where that is going to mount. The front spring perch used to be here. I still have to grind these smooth, but you can see all our holes are filled now, both sides. I did most of that off camera not to hurt you. This is the big fixture we made that's just holding the frame together while everything's cut out of the center of it. And the front spring perch. The front spring perch, I'm going to have to measure exactly, but it's going to go somewhere in this area. Now, well, I can't remember the exact dimension. It's like 14.5 inches in front of where it used to be. It's going to sit down lower in the frame. Alright, we're up close to the cab here. We haven't really talked about the fuel tank much, but I'd like to keep it. It actually sits inside the sheet channel on that frame, so depending on the transmission of where it sits, if I can keep it here, I would really like to, because I like the filler cap on the side of the cab, and then the tube is actually underneath the floor. It's not inside the cab. But it's in really nice shape. And I just like it, that's all. Now remember, this cross member is coming out. This is badly cut out one other time and bolted back in. Now we're going to fix that. Let me move this the other way. This plate is going to box in this side of the frame. I buy my metal down at Speedy Metal in Willoughby, and I asked for 9 1/8 inches. They cut it nice with no extra fees for cutting, and you know, it just fits. I'm sure I have to do some grinding here. I have to fit this lever along this bottom edge. I really didn't tape this part, but I think I mentioned one other time, these flanges came over the edge of the fridge. I had to cut this off, and I welded these back down. This is still pretty uneven. I'll get this pretty straight before I weld it back down. I'm not great at overhead welding, so I'm concerned. I don't want to leave any big gaps on the bottom. That's going to be my critical edge. I have gravity help me on the top. So there's 2 of these. These are the side plates. They'll come in about 10 or 12 inches short. We'll look at that in a second. Of that other boxing plate, but I could trim that and make it work. So, alright, so the next cross member, 3-inch square tubing, 3/16 wall, will also be mounted on the inside of that plate. That's going to go on a diamond pattern like this, so that the diamond will fit inside of where that spring perch is bolted, so I can access these holes. I hope you can see this good. Alright, so that's going to fit this way, so I can access these holes. I'm going to bolt these back in with frame bolts. Let me show you. Alright, so I haven't got them from, there's a Fastenal just within a half mile of my house here, which is nice to have around. So I bought these flange bolts, frame bolts, and the correct nuts. like I said, these aren't the right size, but just so you get the general idea, that will look a lot nicer on the outside. The serrations on the back of the nuts will keep that from slipping. And because I have this on a diamond, I can cut 4 access holes here, so I can run them in with the impact and check them if I ever have to. So these were riveted from the factory. I think the bolts should be okay. I really can't weld them or anything. It's a casting. I think it's going to work. If it doesn't, we'll do something else. I most likely, after this is in, will put another piece of the 1¼ inch square across the top, just to keep this top from moving in or out. I'm really concerned with, you know, how the frame rails are bending and twisting, and that's going to be a pretty good gap, almost 22 inches from that cross member to this one. So I may put another piece just right across the top here, just to keep the vertical movement in check. All right. This big guy is a 4x6. It's a 1/4 inch wall, which I could have used 3/16. The only reason I picked 3/16 was because that's the thickness of the frame now. So the caliper is about the same. I think it's a little bit over, like 192 or something. These are, well, the other side, the 3/16 actually calipers at 180. And this is like 246 or something. But this is what they had. I really didn't think it'd make a big difference. It'll still weld nice. I will have airbags in the back. So I wanted to have somewhere strong that I could mount the airbags. So I picked this 4x6 that depending on where the bag mounts, on the underneath of course, this is going to go right over the center line of the rear axle. So I may not actually put this in right now until I have the springs in, until I have the axle in hand, so I can make sure that this is horizontal. The frame won't be. The frame, remember, it tilts 2 to 3 degrees to the front. So I want this horizontal to the rear axle so it's parallel to the rear spring perches, which I know that, you know, so the pinion angle is going to be up. So I have to get all that in place so I can measure it nice. But this is what it's for. This is where the airbags are going to mount. I'll probably drill holes through it. I'm thinking about, before I put these plates on the sides, I have my dad was an electrician. I got a bunch of old fish tapes down in the basement. I'm going to run some of those inside the frame. They're metal. I can't hurt them if I weld, and if I need to pull wiring for lighting or air hoses or anything through this, I'm going to put holes in these plates, weld them in with the fish tape coming through so I can always pull stuff out later. A guy I used to know worked at a Harley. He did a Harley stuff on the side, and they hid all the wires all the time. And he was always talking about how he hid wires. So I think that might be just cleaner. I don't like stuff hanging down. I don't want a lot of mess. So I'm going to hide them. All right, so this is the last of the cross members. Same as the other. 3-inch square, 3/16 wall. This also gets mounted on a diamond like this. These are the holes where it sits. Remember, this is bent, so this all is going to have to get revised. But this fits like a diamond inside the frame, and this sits around it, so I have access to those bolt holes. All right? So I'm hoping you see these 4 holes. That's where the spring perch bolts on. Alright, so I'm hoping you can see then how this is going to weld on the inside of the frame. It still gives me access here to the back sides of those bolts. Strengthens across the height of the frame to minimize twisting. So as long as I cut everything straight, I'll be in good shape. Final piece. Alright, this last plate, this is the final piece, just 3/16 wall. This, hopefully you'll get a good view of how twisted this is outside. If I put this on here, you probably can see better. See what a nice job they do cutting the metal? Right on size. So this is quite a bit out of horizontal. So this will all be straight. This side will be straight. But this plate gets welded out across the back then. Alright. Alright, this is Eastwood's rust encapsulator, and I used it on the springs. I use it on these spring perches. I clean everything with the wire wheel really nice. I like the look of this. I like the finish. It kills the rust. This is not a paid advertisement. Eastwood people send me something. But I'm gonna paint and kill all the rust inside of here. After the plates are already in, it may come in with some undercoating, or they make a similar product that's heavier. You could spray in. It's almost like a waxy kind of thing. Might do that. Not exactly sure yet. But before I close it up, I'm gonna paint this on the inside. And that's all. I'm gonna go change my shirt and get a paintbrush, and we'll start that part. So here's our old rust encapsulator. Not so worried about the inside top of the frame rails. I never seen the top rot out. Seen plenty of bottom though. You know, in Cleveland, the rust and the salt get up in here and sit up inside of here, and just all year long would just eat it up. We see 10-year-old cars now in the shop that are just holes, just things missing. I think that new liquid de-icer they use now is even worse as far as the corrosion. Cars have gotten a lot better than they used to. There used to be a muffler shop on every street, and those days are gone. Midas went into the brake business instead of the muffler business. They adapted. I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm not going to make it go through all this, but I'll show you when we're done. Hope I have sound there. Just want to show you the inside. Alright, so that's the finished product. Gonna start putting these plates on today. I'm gonna take another video of that. I'll show you. Just want to show you everything. Final prep, where we're going with Crossmembers, and that's it. Okay, I'll see you. I'm gonna start on this later today, so.